Hi everyone, I welcome you all to our tech podcast series, and this is Chavi, your podcaster of the day. As usual, you know me. Now, as we all know that we come out with some amazing founders, entrepreneurs to talk about on the different technologies. Now, you might be thinking, who's today? Now, our today's guest is Vicky Jain, who is currently one of the founders of uKnowva. And when it comes to uKnowva, it's something amazing to know about it. So let's hear about uKnowva and about how Vicky started his journey from him. So hi Vicky, how are you doing?
Very well, Chavi. How are you?
I'm also doing great. So before starting with anything, would love to know your journey and how you actually started with this because being an entrepreneur is a very tough decision indeed. So how you come up with this?
Of course. So let me just give you a quick background about what we are doing, and what kind of problem that we're solving, and how we started this journey. Is an end-to-end HR platform that can manage or automate HR processes right from recruitment till exit. So we touch base all the pain points of HRs with respect to talent acquisition, talent development, talent engagement, talent management, etc. Currently, our systems are being used by more than 3 lakh people across organizations, which include the likes of Delivery, IDFC, uh, you know, uh, 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 Mahindra, Kotak Bank, etc. So these are some really big names that are already using it and our software. And coming to the journey, like how we started, it was actually out of recession when we started. We started as a web development company in 2008. At that point in time, the world was going through a recession because of the Lehman, Brothers bubble that had burst, and we were just out of college. We had nothing to do actually at that point of time. So we just thought of starting a web development company. We were earlier into a services, complete services kind of setup. We used to do websites, mobile apps, etc. And then started our product journey somewhere in 2012. We launched an intranet solution, then an HR platform, which is doing pretty great these days. And we've seen a lot of traction. Currently, we have presence in India, Middle East, and North Africa as well. So that's a quick background about the journey. I know I can speak a lot on that, but I will respect the time that we have.
That was really great. And obviously, I guess now listeners and the viewers can understand what is a recession because we recently saw the recession and it's obviously currently going on as well. And oh my God, the anxiety the people have in their mind is too much. Now talking about that, so your whole thing is revolving around this amazing thing, right? The HR thing, and obviously the people who are suffering in recession are also loving your company a lot, right? So in that case, we'd love to know how things are currently going on from, like, if I would say, from June 2022 to January 2023, how things have been to you.
So honestly speaking, no, we haven't felt recession, or rather, on the counter, we have actually grown during this time. Or even when COVID struck, everyone was like, it is going to hit business, etc. We were also afraid, of course. We were not, we were a very pretty, small company at that point of time, a very less customer base, and we were also afraid. But honestly, touch wood, it was a blessing in disguise, I would say. And HR tech actually was need of the hour, and we actually started growing almost 150 to 200%, during COVID times, and even we're continuing the same growth, this year as well. So to answer your question, we actually, as a company, we never felt the recession. Mainly because of we were in the tech side of it. I think during COVID, tech was something which was the most, no, that gained a lot. Tourism, hospitality, etc., lost a lot, but tech gained a lot, and we were in that industry. So we actually had a plus, and got benefited from it. And secondly, even in India, like I would say that we are shielded at the moment, or kind of insulated with recession, because I have my friends who are working out of US, Canada. There is a lot of inflation going on. There is a lot of chaos going on. But if you compare it with India, I don't see much of it because of the policies that the government probably has implemented. And maybe even after COVID effects, people have started realizing that anyone can work from anywhere and still get the work done. So it's better to have people here in India itself. So that's why the employment rate in India is also not, unemployment rate in India is also not got affected much. So these are the two reasons I would say. Okay, we've not got affected much. And even for overall as a country in India, I don't see much of it coming or affecting in future as well. This will pass by.
Okay, got it. That's nice. And also, moving with that, okay, when it comes to HR technologies right now in the current phase, if I talk about developers specifically, so without having much experience and knowledge, they just go and apply for jobs and internships, and due to which HR faces a lot of problem because they don't know how to just segregate it. And so do let me know how like you are helping them, and also like how technology will help the HRs in 2023 in doing the segregation and recruiting the best candidates.
So actually, if I see overall, HR's overall KRS, talent acquisition is one of it, which is where we're talking about how do I hire the right, the perfect talent for my organization. This has been a age old problem. It has been since ages, more than 100 years. Okay, how do I ensure the person I'm hiring is actually the right fit, etc., etc.
All time.
So. And the answer to that is obviously, you add a little bit of AI, and there are a lot of evaluation tools that have come up in the recent past. I'll overall talk about how HR tech is helping, and how my tool is also kind of automating these stuff. So there are a lot of like for example, CV passing tools that can read your CVs and actually get information out of it automatically, and also create a kind of a score, like matching the skills, because there are certain skills written in the job description, and there are certain skills written in the CV, and matching that, and also maybe the past employment, the education, etc. And now deep HR tech, I would say, or rather than deep HR tech, I would say deep tech, which is purely into talent acquisition part. They've also gone one step ahead and figured out, like on the base, for example, in my organization, I have been in operations since more than 12 years now. So I have a past record, right? So the past record says, okay, what kind of people I have hired, which institute I hired the most, etc., etc. So these also can be studied, and there are a lot of tech that is already doing that. They study the past data of organizations, and then when a new job is created and someone applies, they give a score accordingly, and then you can reduce this. And you can get the best candidate. So you can actually reduce, as an HR, you can reduce the kind of manual efforts you're going to put in screening the candidate, because usually it's like for a particular position you might have on an average more than, like 500 CVs. But if you want to screen 500 CVs, it's like maybe you will take 5 minutes per CV. So it is going to take a lot of time, and this kind of tech actually kind of helps you just narrow down this 500 to just 50 CVs. So there are tools out there, even evaluation tools, like you can have, we also do the same. We have a very simple evaluation test that anyone can just give. If that person passes, then of course my filtration is automatically done from again 500 to say 50 to say 10 people I would want to recruit. So this automates a lot of stuff. And my tool, like why HRMS helps in managing this entire life cycle, or applicant life cycle, I would say, or the candidate life cycle, like setting up the test, or integrating with any whatever tool that you would need for CV parsing, and getting that screening done automatically, etc. And then moving on to the employee life cycle, offer letter generation, appointment, etc., etc., and the rest of the stuff. So that is how I would say HR tech is evolving in terms of talent acquisition per se. To answer your question specifically, how it is helping, so many people are applying, and how do I figure out that or solve that problem. There are a lot more that HR tech is also doing across areas like talent engagement, talent management, and talent development. Talent development is basically how do I make sure my current set of people can output, their output can be doubled up, and so on. So there, our tool helps in all these four areas. And HR tech as such has evolved across areas. Acquisition is one part of it, which I just spoke. But if you wish to know more about the other parts, I'll be more than happy to share my thoughts.
Sure. That's actually great and insightful, and I really loved it. That's how technology is helping HRs to be like to find the best candidates, and their work is also eased, and they are also getting some more time that they can focus on different stuffs in the company as well. Now, moving with that, when I was just going through the company thing, I saw that you are also somehow helping the disabled people, like who are not who have some or the other issues. So would love to know that how is it happening, and the main thing that I want to know, what was the thought process, like how you come up with that idea, and because everything comes up like there's a story behind everything, right? So would
Yeah,
love
yeah.
to know how you come up with this and how you are
So,
helping.
okay, first, where did it ideate from? It ideated from a customer's need. And at uKnowva, we have ensured okay, we stay very close to our customers so that we can innovate well. So, this is something maybe all startups and budding entrepreneurs should actually focus on. Okay, how do you because innovation is the only way you can compete with the big giants. That is what we've also done. We've competed with when we started, there are a lot of big players, and still people preferred us for there was because of the kind of product that we built, how we innovated, etc. And the way to innovate is very simple: stay close to your customers, because that is where the problem statements are, and have your engineers talk to your customers. That is because that's a solutioning guy, and when they both meet, innovation definitely would happen. Now, one of the customers that we were onboarding, you it was a very interesting customer to have. They employ physically people with disabilities. More than 80% of their employees were the people with disabilities. They were doing a very social cause, and I was very much impressed with whatever they were doing. And they told me, okay, we would want to explore an HRMS that can help me make that should be accessible. By accessibility, what I mean is, okay, while it is not only just accessible to normal people, but even someone with a visual disability, or hearing disability can easily navigate through, or use the system. Now, how to make that happen is actually very simple. From a technology perspective, this is probably for all the techies that might be listening to this. Okay, how do you make your interface or your software more accessible and available for people with disabilities? You have to just follow the W3C standards. Some examples I will give. W3C standards, in the sense, like for example, if you're putting an image tag, most of the developers will just put img src equal to and put the image. But a better way or the right way to do is put an alt tag. Similarly, you follow more of a div structure rather than a table structure. Have all tags across your HTML, and these are all standards actually published on the W3C portal as well. It is just that if you follow it properly, then the browsers and all other tools will actually help you. So for someone who cannot see or cannot see clearly, can actually read the alt tag, and that is what the browser helps in doing, and that is how they are using my system, and very flawlessly. That is how we made it accessible. So the idea came from the customer. Okay, we need that thing, and we have evaluated almost every other HRMS in India and across the globe. There is only one that is giving that kind of accessibility, but that's a US based one, and comes at a very heavy price. And we thought that's a good challenge to actually solve, and we had all the right tech available. Honestly, it was not technical enough, no, not so complex. It was just about following the basics that were taught to us during our college days as well. You to just follow the standards, that's it. And we created the interface. The customer is pretty happy. They referred us to a few more who also are in the similar domain of employing people with disabilities, and that is how we came up with this feature and executed it and delivered it as well. And I would just like to say that we are with the second or the first company in India to actually have an HRMS or first HRMS in India who is completely accessible even for the people with disabilities.
That was so fabulous, to be honest. I have never heard something like this being done. Obviously, as you said, you're the one. So, obviously, I have never ever heard something like this actually exist. I was also pretty much surprised and shocked, to be honest, when I saw that. Okay, how are you helping the disabled one? And this is something a really, really amazing ideas. I like really kudos to you and your team for that.
Thank you.
And also, like I would be very happy to conclude this podcast with some of the tips, or you can say advice from your side to the developers, as like when it comes to disabled people or like these sort of situation, as it was
Mhm.
just a customer that come up with this thing and this strike to your mind, and you come up with this idea and you totally like you so nicely initiated this and applied it. So like any advice that you want to give to the budding developers
Oh,
or professions out there?
I kind of already gave the advice. It is just no follow the standards, the basics. It's very simple. And most of us actually, if you're a copy paste developer who just copies the code from Stack Overflow and pastes it somewhere, then definitely you're not going to uh, go this route, and you'll always lose out on the basics. So my advice to developers is very simple: just keep yourself, follow the basics, and not just copy paste. And you can actually read a lot of these standards on W3C, even JavaScripts. A lot of libraries have come in, and how maybe understand it better and then apply it rather than just copy pasting it from some other website that has kind of partially solved a problem.
Got it. That was indeed a very amazing advice. And with that note, thank you so much, Vicky, for joining in. It was really fabulous to have you. We had such an amazing conversation, and I have also dropped all his socials in the description below. You can reach out to him for any of the doubt, and he would be very happy to help you out in any of your thing. So thank you so much,
So
Vicky, for joining in today. It was really,
thanks,
really
Ravi.
amazing to have you.
Thanks, Ravi. I also equally enjoyed it.